Chapter 13, Part 4. We're going to look at a few more ideas associated with direct and indirect object pronouns. Now, what if there's more than two verbs in a row? The pronouns always occur before the verb that's acting upon them. So, for example, let's look at the example. Il faut donner le jouet à Jacques. So we've got it's necessary to give the toy to James. So we've got two verbs there, and is it the toy to James goes with donner. It's not doesn't go with il faut. Il faut is followed by donner, so the pronouns are going to go in front of donner. Il faut le donner à Jacques. So that's replacing the toy with the direct object pronoun le. Il faut le donner à Jacques. It's necessary to give it to James. Now we could just replace to James. Il faut lui donner le jouet. It's necessary to give the toy to him. So just use one pronoun there and leave the toy without being a pronoun. Or we could replace both the toy and to James by pronouns. Il faut le lui donner. It's necessary to give it to him. So that's how we would translate. It's necessary to give it to him. Now, notice something really strange in English. We could also say it's necessary to give him it. What in the world is happening to that in English? If we put the to him in front of the it, we have to drop out the to. So it sounds like we've got two direct objects in English, but really the first one's an indirect object without the word to. So even though it seems like French has rules that are infinitely complicated, English has them too. And the way our brain is designed, that we just naturally pick these things up when we were a child. So it's necessary to give it to him, or it's necessary to give him it. For this class, let's keep things simple and always put the to in with the indirect object. Now, how do we use pronouns with an infinitive? Let's look at the sentence. Il a besoin de parler le français. So, il a besoin de means he needs to. That's avoir besoin, is to need. So, he needs to speak French. So, he needs to speak French. And we can replace le français with a direct object pronoun. Il a besoin de le parler. So we're going to put the pronoun directly in front of the infinitive, but after the preposition. He needs to speak it. In negative expressions, it's going to go right before the conjugated verb, the pronoun. Il ne parle pas à Jacques. He does not speak to James. So here we've got the negative expression ne pas around the conjugated verb. We're going to take à Jacques, replace that with the direct object pronoun lui, and it's going to go right inside the ne pas. So it immediately precedes the conjugated verb, and all the pronouns and the conjugated verb will be surrounded by the negative expression. The no will be the first thing that starts it off, and the pas will be the last thing that finishes it. Il ne lui parle pas. He does not speak to him. How about the passé composé and the other two-word tenses, like the pluperfect? Well, in that case, the object pronoun, the direct object or the indirect object pronoun, always comes before the auxiliary verb. That's one that's conjugated. Il a parlé à Jacques. So parler is the past participle. Avoir is the helping verb. So he spoke to James. So we're going to replace to James with lui, and we're going to put it in front of the conjugated verb. Il lui a parlé. He spoke to him. Now here's an example with the pluperfect. Il avait dit. He had said. He had said because this is the imperfect. La vérité. This is a direct object. So we'll take la vérité, replace it by la, and put it in front of ave, and it contracts. Il l'avait dit. And because it's feminine, it makes that past participle feminine too. That's why we get the E there. So he had said it. So here's a short exercise. Write down your answers to this and check them with the next video.